Hello, everyone. Welcome to Feedstuffs 365. I'm Sarah Muirhead, and Greg Soulje is here with us today with a weather update. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you, Sarah. Happy December 2nd. Meteorological winter is underway, and it's the look of the same already in many areas of the plains and Corn Belt locales. I growing up, got my first weather station 13, 14 years old. Loved winter back then. I don't know what it is, the crooked number. I'm done with this in January, but it's not going to end. So here we are.
There's a bunch of snow out there, at least
Yep.
here in northern Illinois. I'm
And
ready
over
for
a
spring.
wide area of the plains, by the way, in many areas of the northern and central plains, all the way to the Ohio Valley this morning. And so it goes. Yeah, the look and feel of midwinter time already.
All right. Well, why don't you give us an update, what we're looking at and what we can expect going forward?
All right. Not much improvement. At least we'll wind our way out of winter storminess, but there's just a plethora of weather systems that are going to be running the periphery of kind of the advancing polar vortex. I know that was a popular thing back, I think it was back in 2015, 2016. It's always been there in meteorology. But it sometimes ebbs and flows from the polar region, obviously, as far south as the St. Lawrence River Valley and the eastern Great Lakes region. And we're trying to get that circulation going and systems run down the backside of it, clippers, if you will. So not any big snows coming, but just frequent little weather systems. And they each one bring down cold air. And here we are in the beginning part of December, 6 inches of snow on the ground. And that's probably a conservative number. I think that's taken at O'Hare Field. Many areas of northern Illinois at 8 to 10 inches. Many areas in central Illinois at 8 to 10 inches. Another 1 to 3 in some spots, 4, roughly Springfield, Champaign, Kankakee, and south all the way down to just about I-64, and some snow as far south as the lower Ohio Valley after some snow and ice, some mixed frozen precipitation yesterday, some zero cold. It's a trademark of now these icier type snows that lay out over the existing snow cover. So heads up on some pretty cold mornings anticipated livestock managers, bin and barn operators, especially where there's snow on the ground. And that also extends back across a wide area of the northern and central plains. And so that's the story there throughout the plain states areas as far south as Lubbock, Texas. That's livestock country. A little chill on livestock there. They were down to the 20-degree mark, and there'll be recurring readings down below freezing here in the days to come in that particular part of the country and east along the I-10, I-20 corridor throughout the southeastern states. A little patchy snow cover into areas of the central plains. It's really Iowa back across the Dakotas, even parts of Nebraska that have a more substantial snow cover, hence protecting winter wheat. A little uptick in temperatures, but the bottom's going to drop out over the middle and late portions of the week. Somewhat dated information, but the USDA has the numbers for topsoil moisture shortages. Now, there were some rains over the past couple of weeks in that part of the country. Georgia, Carolinas, Virginia, anywhere between 60 and 83% short and very short in topsoil moisture. And sometimes early on in La Nina setups, you really don't get a lot of significant improved substantial rain. It's later in the wintertime season. We'll see what transpires going forward here in the weeks to come over there. Pretty quiet weather pattern across the Pacific West and Northwest. Arizona wrapping up late season cotton harvest and a pretty uneventful setup in the shorter term of late. And we've seen some significant drought improvement across California and the Pacific Northwest. Good news there. This time of the year, the visible satellite picture gets clouded with snow cover, but you can often see where the snow cover is by area, streams, and rivers. So we kind of took an infrared look. Census cloud temperatures, the brighter yellow, orange, the higher cloud tops, and significant rain and snow in the eastern states. You can see a little dip in the steering currents over the middle part of the country. Just to the left of that, where skies are clearing, winds drop back. That's the western Corn Belt, and there's the next weather system. You can see they're taking on more of a northwest to southeast orientation as we keep a ridge in the southwest. If you want to escape this junk already, it'll be Southern California, Arizona in the days and couple of weeks to come. If you want to stick around to lake snows and wintertime, anywhere east of the Missouri River in particular, even east of the Divide will be the story. And you can see the next weather system across the west with the radar return showing another round of snow for Big Sky country. Some drought relief. Look at it that way. We'll spin it that way in the positive. That's the next frontal boundary. And there's another one through the Canadian Prairie. They're going to begin to track to the east and southeast in about every 36 hours. A quick little dash of accumulating snow, temperatures drop, you get a little puff of somewhat milder air ahead of the next system. Do the same thing, a dash of snow and drop readings off. That'll be the story over the northern and eastern plains, Corn Belt locales, and point southeast. Significant rain in some of those key drought-ridden areas of the mid-Atlantic region and the southeastern states. That's for the next 24 to 36 hours. And there it is this afternoon. A couple of snow showers and flurries on the warmer air, and I hate that term this time of the year when there's wind involved because it doesn't feel real warm out there, but temps briefly moderating over the Dakotas and Big Sky country. Some snowfall anticipated there. Moving on through tonight, there's the next two cold fronts. They're taking aim at the northern and, well, like much of the plains and Corn Belt locales and points east and south. And that is a little piece of the main mother load of Arctic air. There'll be two of them separating here in the next 2 or 3 weeks, one through the northern plains, another one around the northern and eastern Great Lakes region. Disturbances track along it, so there should be going forward no shortage of snowfall opportunities and moisture opportunities, if you want to look at it that way. In any event, here's Tuesday night, some snow breaking out across the northern plains, upper Midwest. Here comes a quick, maybe half to an inch, and maybe spots an inch or two of a low moisture content powdery snow. More significant snows in the lake snow belts. Those lake waters, by the way, off Lake Michigan, 45 to 50 degree water temperatures still. They're dropping pretty quickly now, but put that and Arctic air above it, and you have a significant lake effect snow machine into Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, and the lower lakes region going forward over the next couple of weeks. Some upslope snow for areas of Colorado. That cold front comes whistling through, a little uptick ahead of it. We may get close to freezing into parts of the central Corn Belt. Temperatures falling through the wayside during the day into the northern plains. Skies will be clearing off for the wake of those snow showers and flurries, and we're probably down close to, if not below zero, come Thursday morning into Iowa, the Mississippi Valley, and points on northward as the next little clipper system comes out of the Canadian prairie, a rush of wind through the Dakotas. And again, temperatures begin to recover back west of the Red River during Thursday afternoon. Liquid precip, maybe a short inch or powdery, less than 2 inches of snow in the next couple of days for the northern plains, Corn Belt locales. You can see the significant rain exiting off stage right out of the mid-Atlantic region and down over the southeast. And outside of snow showers and flurries and some of those upslope snow areas of Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado, pretty quiet across the west. There is the snow cover chart for this morning. Pretty impressive across the Dakotas, eastern Nebraska, just about all the Corn Belt. I think there is more there than they're laying eyes on and measuring across the Ohio Valley, but it does extend all the way down into parts of northwestern Tennessee and Kentucky, and we're going to be building upon it going forward here in the days and weeks to come. So going forward here the next several days, that system in the east and northeast is winding down. The next weather system that will tap into some of this Gulf moisture. There's a little bit of a separate southern stream for now in the upper configuration. So some welcome rain for parts of the Gulf Coast, the southeastern states, even into the Carolinas going forward. Here comes the sub-zero cold over the upper Midwest and readings out even the single digits as far south as the parts of Kansas and into the northeast of New England. And we're just getting ramped up in those temperatures, by the way. And weather continues to be unsettled over the northern and central Rockies with upslope snows that continue on there. High temperatures for the day today, not much into the 20s and low 30s, a little bump back west of the Missouri. Here, we'll look at readings as we head on through the day on Friday. Another shot of cold air, teens and 20s for daytime readings. By the way, those readings are running about 15 to 25 degrees below average over the Corn Belt, especially east of the Mississippi. Not bad in the Pacific West and Northwest and down through Florida. And the temps by the time we get into Monday of next week, still holding the upper teens and 20s. Some recovery, but that's downslope winds coming off the northern and central Rockies. They'll push above freezing back west of the Red River Valley of the North. Overnight readings, kind of cold for the time of year, especially over the snow-covered areas, teens and lower 20s. You can see the next junk push of kind of cold air, that junk, if you will, with readings down to 0 and below, begins to move into the Dakotas during the course of Wednesday. By Friday, wouldn't be surprised if we've got readings down at least into the single digits over the heavier snow-covered areas, and possibly 0 or a bit below. There are parts of central Illinois, McLean County, for example, and out northwest and west of Rockford that typically can be much colder than that because of their topography and terrain. And we're still down into readings in the single digits, teens and lower 20s at night into early next week. And again, those temperatures running at about 10 to 15, almost 20 degrees below average. Remember, we're just in the beginning part of December when this weather pattern has the look and feel, the walk and talk of January, really, across the middle part of the country. Stirring currents between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can see a system, at least kind of that troughiness over the middle part of the country. Systems drop in, they get kicked out, the trough reestablishes itself, systems drop in, kick out, trough reestablishes itself, and just an ongoing story for the northern and eastern plains and into the Corn Belt locales Monday and Tuesday. You can see a nice ridge of high pressure off of California, desert southwest of Arizona, Imperial Valley. Nice recovery on temperatures and weather out there for any cotton harvest and livestock operations. A series of cold fronts on the move. We'll get a little dash of snow from time to time, half to an inch, maybe some spots 1 or 2. No major storms coming, but just a plethora of these systems every 36 to 48 hours. Moving on through, a little bump ahead of them, a downward push on temperatures behind them. General pattern stays colder than average here for the foreseeable future across areas of the Corn Belt and eastern plains. Some wind-related issues downslope out of Wyoming and Montana into the western Dakotas, and there's some significant rainfall. That is a key drought area. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Key drought area, exceptional drought conditions, southern Alabama, Mississippi into the Florida panhandle. Moving forward here now, there we go. The next 7 days, water equivalent, well, at least across the Midwest of the Plain States, may eke out a 1/4 inch. That was probably a fluffed up 2 or 3 inch total. That's over the next 7 days. Everyone else, 1 inch or 2. And so there's additional snowfall. We're not going to sublimate that snow. That's a fancy term for evaporating it before it goes to liquid state, but you need wind to do that. There's not a lot of wind. You need some warmth to do that. Not a lot of warmth either. So we'll just keep adding to it around here. Look at it as insulation. Look at it as ultimately, and probably right now, some drought relief, considering there was prior to the snow, the holiday snow event, no frost or freeze of significance in the ground. Drought monitor, yeah, some improvement through Kansas, Oklahoma, even parts of Texas. We're in better shape across California and parts of the northern Great Basin. Don't think that's going to last, though, in a La Nina setup this year into southwestern reaches of the country. It tends to be a little drier and warmer than you would like it to be. Moisture again increasing down through southern Texas, the Gulf Coast areas moving forward, and still some, extreme drought areas out of east central Illinois, parts of central and northeast Indiana, northwest Ohio. Heard from some folks up and across Wisconsin over the holiday weekend. They are clamoring and dying for snowfall. They live by that from a recreational standpoint. And you can see some of the moderate drought conditions, even severe drought conditions across areas of the Minnesota, Arrowhead of Minnesota, and across parts of northern Wisconsin. Next is 6 to 10 days, the trough in the east, the ridge in the west that continue, and the flow is so fast you're not going to pick up any significant weather systems, but they'll tend to be fast moving, quick, short-lived. But they just continue with this gnawing brand of cold, and we're locked into this here over the next 8 to 14 day time frame. When we get into these weather patterns, all you really do is you deepen the trough, you deepen the cold, you move the jet stream farther and farther south, and hence any systems that come through, they tend to track farther west and south, and you continue to lay out more and more of the way of accumulating snowfall above and beyond the lighter stuff. That's probably at least 2, if not 3 weeks out, probably closer to the Christmas holiday. And the temps will begin to moderate in the areas west of the Missouri in the next 6 to 10 days, still remain below average over many Corn Belt locales, and that might even be a little optimistic into the Plain States areas, but kind of the right idea, and I don't think we'll see much further improvement on those readings back to or above seasonal norms in many areas of the Eastern Plains and Corn Belt locales. Pretty active weather pattern where we need it. In the Pacific Northwest, that's a little trip off. The storm track is going to begin to edge back southward. Systems, sometimes when they arrive in the Pacific Northwest with a certain temperature structure up aloft, kind of we watch where the southern extension or ribbon of Arctic air plays out. You just kind of bring that cold air on each system out of the west and northwest farther southward, as mentioned. So a little drier in the southern plains and southwest. That's the right idea. But I think with time, we begin to get more and more of a more active weather pattern into the northern and eastern Corn Belt. A little reflection of that over the next 2 weeks. Not exactly on target with it, but the general right idea. Expect weather systems from the Pacific Northwest to drop into Kansas, the Ozarks, and swing across the Ohio. That's a classic winter storm setup for many areas of the northern and central plains and at Corn Belt locales. Next live stream is the 17th. Coming up in a couple of weeks from tomorrow. We'll update the winter outlook, some thoughts on springtime, and share some thoughts on what Santa thinks about a white Christmas or not across the middle part of the country. So,
but there we go. That's something to look forward to, huh, Greg?
Exactly. Yeah. But you know what? I see as on a commercial spot once in a while, You have the scene, you have a little hut. It's an island locale that got palm trees. Someone throws a switch and you get the Christmas lights on the palm tree. I want to experience that. So sometimes. So
Works for me. When I was growing up, it was Christmas Eve. We flew into Hawaii and we didn't have a tree. So we got a big palm leaf,
nice.
Put it up and put Hawaiian flowers on it. And that was our Christmas tree. And it was warm out. So I was happy.
Yep. Like I said, I love winter storms and I still enjoy doing this. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy tracking these winter storms. I don't like digging them out. But they're getting a little bit old. So anyway, we continue to press forth and we'll keep you posted.
Very good. And we appreciate your update, Greg, and we appreciate all of you tuning in as well.